Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review, and surprise, surprise, it's a French horror film. So it's a French zombie film. This is made in 2009, directed by David Morlet, and this is Mutants. Now I say zombie film, but they're not really zombies in this film. They're just sort of like mutated sort of freaks. So yes, it starts off with the character Sonia. She's a nurse, and her husband or boyfriend Marco. And pretty much France has been completely destroyed. This virus has gone completely out of control, and it's your standard kind of end of the world type of feel. So yeah, Sonia, who's a nurse, and there's Marco, and the movie starts off with them in an ambulance, and they're traveling with this woman from the army, and they're in a panic because they've been attacked. There's another guy who's laying down at the back of the ambulance who's been bitten, and so I'm not going to tell you what happens at the start because there's actually quite a bit of action at the start, and there's a really really good gore scene. And so yeah, but 2 minutes in, you get a really good gore scene. So yeah, straight into it. They end up Marco, the boyfriend or the husband, ends up being infected with this blood of the mutants. And it's your standard, don't get the blood on you in your system, otherwise you'll turn. And so they seek refuge at this abandoned hospital, and it's pretty much just Sonia and Marco. And the thing that separates this movie from your standard kind of zombie features like 28 Days Later, in that movie, 28 Days Later, the infection pretty much transformed them into zombies straight away. Whereas in this film, the infection takes about 3 or 4 days to transform the person who's been infected into a creature. So anyway, Marco gets blood in his system of this infected person, and the whole movie pretty much, it's a really fast-paced start, but then in the middle it's very slow. It's pretty much just Sonia looking after Marco, and Marco knows he's dying or he's turning. His hair's falling out, his teeth are falling out, and he's coughing up and spewing up this blood. It's really awful, kind of. Um, he's in a really bad way, and you start feeling really sorry for him. And so Sonia is trying to take care of him, and somehow she's immune to this illness or the disease, the infection, because she's been bitten before, and for some reason she didn't turn. So there's some hope for Marco because she believes that if she can get some of her blood into his system, then maybe there's hope, maybe he can be cured. And she radios this army base called Noah, and they're the hope for the survivors. It's an army base where they're working on a cure. And so her and Marco's only hope is to contact this base through radio and try and get some assistance, but at the same time try and stop this infection from taking over Marco. So that's your story. What separates this from other standard zombie features is the fact that it's not so much gore. There is quite a few good gore scenes in it, but it's very much a tale of love between Marco and Sonia, and it raises the question of euthanasia as well. This is like a terminal illness. This guy knows he's dying. He knows that horrible things are going to happen. So, and he's in a lot of pain as he's turning. So it begs the question: if someone has a terminal illness, they're in a lot of pain. Whether or not should they be allowed to have their life taken away or not? And that raises the question in this film. It's very different, very much, as I said, a love story between Sonia and Marco, and the sadness of it. It's a very cruel type of movie. As I said, the transformation period is very slow. It's not instantaneous. It's yeah. He starts going insane and he starts attacking her, and then regretting it a few seconds later because the infection is starting to take over. So it's very much like a cancer patient, a terminal sort of cancer patient in a lot of pain. But this one is just thrown in with the zombie genre. Overall, very good gore. It's not overly gore. Maybe a little bit for a zombie film. If you go into it thinking that it's going to be a standard gore fest, you might be disappointed. But there are good gore scenes in it. Um, the the middle of it has been accused of being too slow. I thought it was perfect. Um, it's just something a lot different. Um, The Horde, which is another French zombie film, that was just far out like insane fun. But this one is a much more serious film, and I don't agree with people saying it was too slow, because I thought it was great. Just something really different. The atmosphere was great. Um, the scenery was awesome. It's in the middle of winter. There's snow everywhere. So it was a really beautifully shot film. One criticism of it is the fast sort of paced camera that they went with during the action scenes. Some of the fast paced action I would have liked to have the camera a bit more steady so I could see the gore a lot more. But that was alright. I mean, it wasn't such a huge negative. But yeah, I do recommend this film, but you got to know what you're getting yourself in for. This is not a insane, fast-paced action, thrill a second sort of film. It's actually a film with a bit of depth, and I highly recommend it. This is one of the better zombie films going around. Uh, I purchased this with two others, and this is a pretty good purchase for me because all three of these films have been really, really good. So this is David Morlet's 2009 Mutants. Definitely check it out if you're into the zombie kind of scene. Definitely check this one out, but just know what you're getting yourself into. You're gonna have to listen to a bit of dialogue. Well, in this case, if you can't speak French, you're gonna have to read a bit of dialogue. But if you don't mind that, the start of it is really, really fast paced. The middle, we have kind of like a breather. It goes into the story of Sonia and Marco, and Marco pleading to Sonia to end his life, and Sonia not wanting that because she loves him. So very cruel type of story. But then the last, say, 15 minutes, it picks up again. It's a really fast-paced sort of ending. So yeah, highly recommended. I'm really impressed with this one. This is Mutants. Yeah, a must get for any French horror fan. Alright guys, hope that review was helpful. And yeah, I'm going. Alright, have a great day. See you later. Bye.